Good morning, good afternoon, good evening, whatever time you're watching this. Welcome to Superkickin with Steven. So happy to be here. Ready to talk up Raw, SmackDown, and NXT. We are right on that road to WrestleMania. We're in the fast lane. We're on the highway. We're in the carpool lane, whatever different thing you want to say. But we are right there, ready to go. Next weekend starts WrestleMania Night 1 and Night 2. We have NXT Night 1, Night 2. We have a WrestleMania SmackDown edition that there's going to be a tag team championship there. And I believe the Andre the Giant Battle Memorial or Battle Royal. And we got Raw. We have the Hall of Fame on Tuesday. So you're probably wondering, first off, let's get my my quick rant out of the way. Yes, I'm sporting all of my Bayley gear. See right there, all my Bayley gear. Because where in the heck is Bayley's WrestleMania moment? Give Bayley a chance. But anyways, we'll move on from there. So hopefully Bayley has a segment. That's all I'll say. But you're probably wondering, Steven, where can we find you during WrestleMania week? And boom, right there. So WrestleMania week. Obviously today we'll talk Raw, SmackDown, and NXT, kind of get that out of the way. And then next week it's going to be busy on my Facebook Live page for the Superkickin with Steven page. So you've already found your way there. 7:45 in the morning, I'll give you Monday Night Raw preview, kind of that last Raw heading into WrestleMania. Tuesday, I'll give you some Hall of Fame thoughts. Some of the people that I think are, the worthiness of them and kind of, just what I think about the Bella Twins, about Batista, Kane, Rob Van Dam, who else is going in, Great Khali. So we'll give you the whole rundown of who's going in that night and just, different memories of that we have. Wednesday, April 7th, Facebook Live, NXT TakeOver Night 1 preview. So I'll give you all my predictions on who's going to win that night, kind of things going there. Night 2 will be the next day. So Thursday, April 8th, we'll do NXT TakeOver Night 2 previewing. Then on Friday, I'll go Facebook Live, of course, and give you my review of Nights 1 and Night 2. And on Saturday, next Saturday, April 10th, Superkickin' It WrestleMania edition. We are going to preview both nights. I have a special co-host that I've worked with back in the years, and hopefully he can be available for this. So we'll get him on there talking WWE with the letter J. And we will go back and forth on all things. We are going to talk about the Great Khali and whether or not he belongs in the Hall of Fame. So look forward to doing that first, and then we'll give you all the shows. I'm still haven't decided on what's the best route for, if it doesn't end too late on Saturday night, maybe I'll be live on Facebook Live, and then Sunday night, the same thing. Also, the breaking news on Sunday night is, and we'll just kind of start right here with our whole, where things are going for WrestleMania. But night 2, next Sunday night, will be the Stone Cold podcast with special guest Chris Jericho. Yes, Chris Jericho of AEW, their first AEW champion. Now I know it doesn't mean, we're going to see Chris Jericho in WWE. I do believe that. But I think that door is slightly, there's just something there, hopefully. If we can get New Day and the Young Bucks interacting across platforms, if we can get Kenny Omega going after some title in WWE, I know I'm way booking way too much. But, maybe Jericho, Stone Cold could be the middleman, between WWE and AEW. Because obviously AEW gave their blessing right away because it's going to get their star on Peacock. So people tuning in are going to see an AEW star on there. And then Stone Cold Steve Austin, I'm pretty sure he can do whatever he wants. I won't say murder somebody, but I think he has free reign to do a lot. Obviously to get Chris Jericho, an active AEW star. And that's what's interesting. It's not like Jericho's going to be done. Their inner circle's running wild. And so if maybe Stone Cold could, go to bat for the Young Bucks or someone like that who want to do, just even a one-off with WWE, Or if maybe some WWE stars, maybe the New Day's like, no, we want to go there, AEW. Now, I think that might be harder to do, but I think Triple H wants to do it, honestly. I don't think he's actively pursuing it, but I think if Tony Khan called him up and said, hey, this is an idea, I think he would run with it. Vince McMahon, I think, would have to do some listening. And, like we said, all the wrestling Twitterverse just went crazy with this because, like we said, it's pretty big to have, Chris Jericho, who I didn't think was on the, the end with Vince McMahon. I know Vince McMahon goes back and forth on guys anyway. So, I mean, even him and Stone Cold had a little falling out there, for a little bit. Him and Ultimate Warrior, him and Hulk. I mean, it's everybody that you can name. But, it does feel a little bit special to have this kind of crossover, because obviously, you're going to have to mention their name. I can't, it's Stone Cold. I don't think he's going to care to not mention it. But so that was the big news that we got. I want to hear it, of course, because those are two of the best wrestling minds, I think. Jericho knows what he's doing in the ring, and he knows what he's doing outside the ring. Stone Cold, the same thing. So, but that's kind of the big news that we got as far as, WrestleMania weekend was concerned. But we'll talk about, what Raw did right away, kind of get started there. Raw, unfortunately, the less talked about, the better, because it was some show, and not in the good way, unfortunately. There was a lot of comedy segments. It just didn't feel like that road to WrestleMania. I still think WrestleMania is going to deliver. I really do. I mean, the matches are there. There's going to be that energy there. And it's all guys that, won in that moment last year. So I think everybody's going to step it up. But we saw, speaking of stepping it up, Bobby Lashley, kind of kick out Cedric Alexander and Shelton Benjamin, just said he's not worthwhile to him. And that's where we kind of got the mixed signals. Like, the Hurt Business is a group that need to stay together. And that's why I'm just kind of curious why we did this. Now, MVP is trying to play it up like, hey, we could still have members. Keith Lee, Mia Yim. Anyways, those are my two names that I'd like to throw out there. Maybe Ricochet. But then again, wouldn't Ricochet almost be like a lateral move, for Cedric Alexander? But I think Keith Lee really needs something. And Mia Yim, after, the whole debacle with Retribution, I think she needs something better. I think MVP would help her a lot. So I don't know if we see it right away, but I could see maybe down the road a couple new members into the Hurt Business, and, they could feud with Shelton and Cedric maybe somehow. And that's what I'm afraid of. I think we already saw Shelton Benjamin. I'll kind of bring it up. Bobby Lashley destroyed him. And now Cedric Alexander is going to go against him. And then they'll be in that Andre the Giant Battle Royal. And I think that's it. I feel bad for Cedric Alexander. Shelton Benjamin, he's had his heyday. He's kind of back here, I think, to do what he can. But obviously, I don't know if he's pushing. I think he was pushing to keep the Hurt Business together. And I think Lashley was as well. And Vince McMahon, unfortunately, said, no, we got to pull the trigger. And I think it is way too soon. But we'll get we'll get Bobby Lashley running through Cedric Alexander, and then those two guys, I don't know what's left for them. So I think it's almost back to square one. It's like Retribution guys. You're going to have to let them go disappear for a little bit and come back or something. But then, like I said, I feel bad for Cedric Alexander, because he's a guy that from day one in his, that Cruiserweight Classic where Triple H personally came out from behind the curtain and just gave him a standing ovation, you knew something special was there. And we've seen glimpses of it, but we haven't seen it all come together. And I'm still hoping that maybe somehow they do. So also we saw Sheamus defeat United States champion Matt Riddle in a non-title match. So, of course, you know what that means. We will see Matt Riddle and Sheamus go at it for the United States title at WrestleMania. I don't remember which night it is. Next week, we'll get you all sorted out. This is night one. This is night two. But, that'll be a good match for Matt Riddle, just to pick up a good win at WrestleMania and, move along. I don't think we need to keep going back to Sheamus, but we'll see. Braun Strowman defeated Jackson Riker. I'm not even going to mention the segment there because it was horrible. It's not needed. Essentially, we're going to see Braun Strowman and Shane McMahon go at it in a, I started to say Hell in a Cell, but steel cage match. The old school steel cage, which is fine. Once again, giving hopefully Braun Strowman should just run through Shane. I know Shane's going to get some offense in, but Braun, take out Shane and then move on. I've said it before. Braun Strowman is in Big Show territory right now. I think they just give Braun whatever he needs, and he'll just make the best of it. He might be in the title picture here and there, but honestly, I don't expect much for Braun anymore, honestly. So we saw the world premiere of Hey Hey Hop Hop, and this was we had the report card segment, then we had this segment, which I know this fit in with what they were doing, and we had the game night. So there's just a little too much comedic relief. One segment is fine, and you've got to, if two, you're going to split them up. Having kind of back-to-back segments where, which is not serious is not a good way to go about a show. But with The Miz and John, and I thought maybe we might pull the trigger on the tag match, and I still wonder if we'll do the tag match. But right now it's one-on-one. Triple H spoke yesterday in a conference call that Bad Bunny's been at the Performance Center about 3 or 4 days a week. He even kind of moved himself down there. So Bad Bunny's going to step up. And The Miz is a perfect guy to put with Bad Bunny because he'll be safe. He's going to protect him. He's going to make him look good as well. So I think it's just all up to Bad Bunny, step it up and see what he can do. I don't think we'll see Bad Bunny after that, but, at least he'll get his WrestleMania moment and kind of go from there. I still think we need a tag match. Then it gives Damian Priest a WrestleMania moment as well. And it lets Bad Bunny maybe not have to work as much in that match. But right now it's one-on-one. If it's still one-on-one next week, I'll be surprised. How about that? So Bobby Lashley defeated Shelton Benjamin. Not much to talk about there because Lashley just ran right through him. And then Cedric Alexander said, hey, I want Lashley next week. And let's face it, Cedric's going to get killed too by Bobby Lashley. So we did have the game night segment with AJ Styles, Omos, and the New Day. And I thought it was funny. The New Day pretty much have free reigns to do whatever we want. We saw horrible segments with them before. We've saw great segments, right? At this point, they're Teflon. They can do what they want, essentially. So Xavier Woods did defeat AJ Styles by DQ because Omos came in there and caused a disqualification. That's once again, I'm really curious what we're going to see in that match. I definitely want to see how I've heard he's been training a lot too. That's what's said by Triple H. He said Omos is going to give you something, something special, he said. Because this is his debut. We saw Fandango debut there. Ronda Rousey debuted at WrestleMania. So it's going to be interesting to see what his in-ring style will be about. And if AJ Styles gets that's his final title he hasn't won. So it'll be interesting to see him win that final title. Complete his gauntlet as, Infinity Stones, as it were, in the Marvel Universe. Alexa Bliss was there with The Fiend, talking about Randy Orton's going to die. And, I do think The Fiend needs to win. Maybe Alexa Bliss helps out. And then Randy Orton, he'd probably go away for a little bit. I think, maybe come back at like Money in the Bank time. I don't think that would hurt him. I think it gives him a little break as well. So, why not? Naomi defeated WWE Tag Team Champion Shayna Baszler. Shayna Baszler's had a rough outing these past few weeks. I mean, she's taken loss after loss. I think she won a match here, maybe against Lana, but it's been a pretty tough sled for her right now. And I do think when she gets out of tag team division, we'll really see the Shayna Baszler that everybody saw in NXT. And I think that what we can see going forward. And then we did have Asuka and Rhea Ripley go at it, kind of, at a contract signing. But then the tag team champions came out, Nia Jax and Shayna Baszler, saying, hey, we want to see if you girls can prove it against us. So we're essentially running back the same thing we did with Bianca Belair and Sasha Banks. And I get it. It is lazy in a way. I think you have plenty of tension going with Asuka and Rhea Ripley, just going, the contract signing. And we don't need the tag team champions going after them as well, but we saw that. And finally, Drew McIntyre defeated Ricochet, defeated Ali, and then he got wrecked by Bobby Lashley and King Corbin. Yeah. What do I say about King Corbin? There's nothing. I feel like the guy's got things there, but it just doesn't click for me. I don't know how about you guys feel, but King Corbin, I mean, I thought the Knights of the Round, the lone wolf was going to work out. Then they cut Steve Cutler, and Wesley Blake is nowhere to be seen. Buddy Murphy is nowhere to be seen. Hint, hint. Put them back together. But anyways, and MVP was very clear. King Corbin ain't in the Hurt Business, which he shouldn't be. And what's funny is we did see King Corbin, when he's the Constable, team up with Lashley and Drew McIntyre. So we're getting a little, call back to that. But, we're going to get King Corbin. We'll get Drew McIntyre going at it. I'm guessing Lashley comes out there again and wrecks, Drew McIntyre. That's the match, next week. I think, honestly, I would not be upset if that opened up WrestleMania night. I think Drew McIntyre deserves that WrestleMania coming out party, even if he loses, because that's the match I go back and forth on. I don't know which way they're going to go. Do we have Keith Lee come out and help Lashley win the title or keep the title? It's very back and forth for me. Personally, I probably would just go one-on-one and wait till after Mania. Then if the Hurt Business is going to realign, maybe you could do something there. But right now, I don't know which way I'm going. I mean, honestly, I feel like you could go either way with, Drew McIntyre winning, or you could go with, Lashley winning. Honestly, you can go either way. But I would love to see, because they're not doing a kickoff show or kickoff matches. So the first match of the night, WrestleMania night 1, is going to be when fans are there, kind of, getting the pop going. And I think if you heard those bagpipes, maybe Drew could get a cool entrance with, bagpipes playing him out. I think that would really get the crowd going and get you back, like feeling like this is wrestling. This is WWE. This is what we wanted. I think we are going to stay in the Thunderdome environment for a little bit longer, but maybe these pay-per-view events, they could kind of do a live crowd. I don't know, but we'll see. But I do think that WrestleMania moment does belong to Drew McIntyre. A crowd back, going against Lashley, kicking off the night, and just a hard-hitting, I'd say 10 to 15-minute match, and just get you that amped up. And then let Bianca Belair and Sasha Banks close out the night with Bianca's moment. I mean, that's my big prediction for a while. Bianca's going to win. But I think, that's the way to go with WrestleMania night 1. And then, night 2 will be the kind of same. What match could really get the crowd going, in those pops that they want. So that's why I said that energy, I think, is going to be there. And I think Drew and Lashley both want to, be those gatekeepers type, those pops. So SmackDown wise, a little bit better than Raw, obviously. It's so amazing to us wrestling fans that SmackDown and Raw are the same people, the same, well, it's probably different writing team because these are different matches type, different energy to it as well. But Edge came out there, gave a good passionate promo, said he's found a rated R superstar. And I think that's what we need to hear from Edge. Just that rated R superstar back in the fold. And, he can kind of play a tweener heel face type of deal, just depending on the situation. We did see Dolph Ziggler, Robert Roode, Otis, Chad Gable defeat the Street Profits, Rey Mysterio, and Dominic Mysterio. Otis, Chad Gable got the win. I'm going to assume this kicks off SmackDown next week. The Fatal 4-Way for the SmackDown Tag Team titles. Right now, I guess I would just give it to the Mysterio family just to kind of let Rey and Dominic have that special moment. I know it's not going to be in front of a live crowd, but, they could still maybe come out on one of those nights and celebrate somehow. But right now, I'm going to say the Mysterio family pull off the win. I think all of the signs are pointing to that. And, they can still feud with Otis, Chad Gable. They can still feud with the Street Profits. They can still feud with Ziggler and Roode and kind of let those go. But I'm going to predict right now for that, because it's going to be a Fatal 4-Way tag team match between all these guys that have just fought each other pretty much all, the last month or so in some capacity, which makes sense that you would do that. And then we'll get to the women's tag team titles, and I'm really curious what they'll do there. But right now, Dolph Ziggler, Robert Roode, Otis Chad Gable, Street Profits, Dominic Rey Mysterio, all going at it. A good match to kick off the weekend as well. I wish they could have been there at WrestleMania. I don't know why you couldn't squeeze a 10-minute match there. Even if it's like I said, I'm fine with them not doing kickoff shows because I want those first pops to be for that big first match of the night, and maybe you could have done it there, but who knows the reasoning. So Cesaro came face to face with Seth Rollins. They did a lot of swing talk. This is another match. I think this could maybe open up night 2. And I've already, I've been very straightforward. Cesaro needs that win. Seth Rollins can lose. He's Teflon as well, just like the New Day. I think Seth Rollins, you give him whatever. He could put over guys. He can win some here and there. But I do think Cesaro, maybe getting that good pop in a win would be really something to see. Natalya defeated women's tag team champion, you guessed it, Shayna Baszler, in about 30 seconds. And then all the women pretty much came out that were tag teams. We had Lana and Naomi out there. We had Riot Squad out there. We had Natalya and Tamina out there. Shayna Baszler and Nia Jax out there. So I'm guessing we'll do some tag team. I wonder if they'll just announce that for next week as well. Or do you do it on Raw to kind of give Raw that, little push on the tag team champion side of things? We just kind of throw out they're not going to be on whatever. Because Lana and Naomi are Raw. Oh, Mandy Rose and Dana Brooke were there as well. So we had 2 teams from Raw, 2 teams from SmackDown kind of going at it. But unless we just do a fatal 4-way and whatever women wins maybe we'll do night 1. So that's my prediction right now. I'm thinking out loud, as you can tell. But I say night 1, we'll do women's tag team title contender match. Night 2, they'll get to face the tag team champions. I don't know who's going to win. Probably Natalya and Tamina. It just seems like that. But I would predict that. Fatal 4-way for the women tag team championship contender, number 1 contender on night 1. Then the next night, they get to face the champion. We also saw Kevin Owens invade Sami Zayn's red carpet trailer. I thought Logan Paul played up his role well. He looked a little out of place. I don't know if he just wasn't quite sure how to handle things or what, which is kind of weird because he's a YouTube god, but maybe just didn't know what to expect or wasn't quite sure of himself. But I thought he played it up well, like, hey, Kevin Owens talked to me. And then Sami Zayn started going back in his, neurotic ways of, going back and forth between really angry and just kind of keeping it cool. Kevin Owens did give a nice stunner to Sami Zayn and then, push Logan Paul out of the way. Logan Paul will be there. Maybe does he interfere on Sami Zayn's behalf to help Kevin Owens or help Sami Zayn win? That's another match. Like, who would have thought we're going to get them one-on-one? Like Cesaro and Seth Rollins, we're going to get Kevin Owens, Sami Zayn one-on-one at WrestleMania. I think that would be a good match as well. Bianca Belair defeated Carmella. Nothing much to talk about there. Sasha Banks came out there. I think the interesting thing with Carmella was we did see Billie Kay start to hand her a resume, and Carmella pushed it off at first and then said, let me look at it. And that's probably a good pairing. Maybe not for tag team titles or whatever, but maybe Carmella has Billie Kay do some of her dirty work or something like that. A little bit better than Reginald stuff. So we'll see where that goes. And then finally, Daniel Bryan defeated Jey Uso in a street fight. And Daniel Bryan got to wreck everybody. We had Roman Reigns in the yes lock, took out Edge. So obviously Daniel Bryan is going to lose at WrestleMania. There's little doubt about that. That's why they put Daniel Bryan in the match. Unfortunately, he'll begin his WrestleMania moment by losing, but he's still going to be there. I think I put his chances at -1 for winning. Honestly, it's really up to Roman and Edge. I think those are the 2 guys, and I go back and forth on which way we'll go with that. So finally, and then we'll get you off and enjoying the rest of your day because it is going to be a great weekend here in Indianapolis. I don't know how your weekend is, but it's sunny and it's going to be warm. So enjoy your Easter weekend as well. NXT, some things to talk about. Cameron Grimes defeated Roderick Strong. The big news is there. Roderick Strong was in the backstage with his bag, with his coat saying, I can't do this anymore. And So I don't know if they're going to write off Roderick Strong and maybe he's going to move elsewhere or he's going to be off for the time being and maybe shows up on Raw or SmackDown. But it does look like, that's the end of Roderick Strong on NXT TV is my thinking. So we also saw Santos Escobar defeat Tyler Breeze. So Escobar came out and had like a open challenge. Tyler Breeze answered it. Fandango came out there. Legado de Fantasma came out there. MSK was out there. And then the Grizzled Young Veterans were on the TV. I'm going back and forth on who's going to win that tag team match. I'm probably going to say MSK because they just won the Dusty Cup Classic. I think just throw the titles on them right now and see where they can go. We also, speaking of tag team titles, Candice LeRae and Indy Hartwell won a match. They challenged Amber Moon and Shotzi Blackheart at Stand and Deliver. That's probably where I would probably pull the trigger on a title switch there as well. I think Candice LeRae and Indy Hartwell need that something more to kind of help, along with Johnny Gargano with, the North American title. I think would be huge for them. Raquel Gonzalez defeated Zoe Stark. The big news there was that Raquel Gonzalez was wrecking Io Shirai all throughout the night. And then everything broke loose at the end of the night between Io Shirai and Raquel Gonzalez. That will main event NXT Takeover Stand and Deliver Night 1. And I do think we'll see the crowning of Raquel Gonzalez as champion, even though she's got the momentum all on her side. I think it just makes sense. And, does Io Shirai go to, move up in a month or two? But we'll kind of see where she goes. Xia Li defeated Casey Castanzaro and Kaden Carter. Kaden Carter got taken out by Mia Ting with this breath of something. And, we'll see how that goes out later on. But, the Xia Li stuff is still a little bit out there for me, but it's kind of different. We'll see where it goes. And then LA Knight won an 11-man battle royal because Roderick Strong essentially pulled himself out. Isaiah Swerve Scott was still left. Leon Ruff was still left. Bronson Reed, Cameron Grimes, and Dexter Lumis. So Kushida and Pete Dunne were the two guys I think I'd put in there instead of Isaiah Scott and Leon Ruff. They eliminated each other because they're going to face each other at Stand and Deliver, so that's fine. We'll see who the best technical wrestler is there. LA Knight now will be the last man to enter the gauntlet match. So you have Isaiah Swerve Scott, Leon Ruff, Bronson Reed, Cameron Grimes, and Dexter Lumis in this gauntlet eliminator to see who will face Johnny Gargano the next night. And then, like I brought up, Io Shirai, Raquel Gonzalez, all hell broke loose. Just a good way to kind of end the night there for those women. But once again, kind of looking ahead. So if you want to see, in case you missed it at the beginning of the show, here's my WrestleMania week previewing of what I'm going to do. And, there's going to be plenty of shows to watch. Hopefully you'll tune in some mornings. So Monday, April 5th, Monday Night Raw preview, kind of looking at the last go-home show for, Raw. Tuesday, April 6th, giving you some Hall of Fame thoughts, who's going in, what's some memories, all that fun stuff that we got. Wednesday and Thursday will be my NXT TakeOver Night 1 on Wednesday, TakeOver Night 2 on Thursday. And then Friday morning, I'll come up and kind of give you the review on both shows, both nights. Then Friday, of course, next week, I'm just so excited. Superkickin with Steven, the WrestleMania preview show, both nights. And then, like I said, maybe Saturday night, we'll keep in touch. Maybe I'll give you a quick Facebook Live review or Sunday morning and then kind of do Sunday night after we, of course, watch Chris Jericho on the Stone Cold Podcast. Got enough going for you for WrestleMania week? I thought so. So thank you for watching. Thank you for tuning in. Enjoy this WrestleMania week. There's plenty of it to watch. AEW is still rolling along. We're going to have NXT moving to Tuesday nights the week after. Plenty of wrestling stuff happening. Impact and ROH and all this good stuff. So thank you for watching and talk to you guys next week.